Hello, everyone, and welcome to Creative Writing with Dr. Nagel. I am your host, Tanya Nagel. I do, I do know who I am most days. And we are here for the second time for the podcast, but the first time for the YouTube station with author, USA Today bestselling author, C.D. Gorri.
Thank you. Hi. Thanks for having me.
So Rituals and Runes comes out in 2 days, and I am like mentally taxed.
Oh
I
boy. Yeah.
I yeah, like I feel um like there's some mystery of something else that I can do that I don't know how to, like I just can't, but I'm trying, everything I can to get the word out. And I mean, it's a lot of work. So for anyone who has ever not participated, and I don't just mean in like an anthology, because I do like little collection anthologies. They're no big deal. People promote them when they first come out. They forget about them until they come down. Like it's
Yeah. Well, this is true. And I don't know if you remember, Naughty Nights Press, that's who is publishing this anthology. It's Gina Kincaid. She's also my co-author, and she's like the bigwig, right? In this world. And so one of
HBIC.
the posts that she puts up in our author group says, this is going to be the toughest thing that you do, thus far in your career. And, she wasn't lying. This is my third time doing this with her. Uh, a list run anthology. It's my second and a half time, I want to say, helping her manage the authors and some stuff behind the scenes. I'm doing booking and newsletter booking, just there are so many parts to this. And I guess, I mean, I know for me personally, I'm just not at a place yet where I could do it alone. So that's why I do this, with this anthology with so many people to help, to kind of lighten the load. Because as you know, as you well know, being an indie author, it's tough. It's tough to be seen. It's very much like shouting into the void a lot of the time. But we do what we do, and we come together, and we do these anthologies. Can get, our 5 minutes of fame. I know it's supposed to be 15, but it's like 5 seconds. I mean, it's like a blink, but it's helpful, and it'll, hopefully build. I have faith in us. I do. I have faith in us and the set.
And we have essentially just a handful of days left to get the sales in to potentially hit it.
That's all right.
So with that being said, beyond the list,
Beyond the list. I love that.
beyond the list, um, what else do you have, going on? Because I know for me, it's like I have this, and then once this finishes, um, at the end of the month, I'm launching my very first Kickstarter.
That's
Uh,
so exciting. I don't know much about that, but I know that's, a lot of people are doing this, and I'm very interested and curious to see like how it does. So, maybe I'll come back and you can tell me about it.
yeah, like it's kind of terrifying, but I've I've been studying Russell Nolte for the past 3 years, like not stalking him, kind of studying him, but
Stalking. You mean stalking.
but he when I met him because he came on my podcast and he talked about this, and so I've just been watching and watching and watching and taking notes and learning and learning and learning, and I finally feel like, you know what, this is a do it or leave it alone, moment.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna see what it does.
I mean, I really would love to know. I don't know much about it. I think I've talked to maybe like not a lot, maybe like 8 authors who have done this in like the last year. So it's not, I have nowhere near done the research you have.
I-
And what I hear a lot of is I hear a lot of people like, well, yeah, it was profitable. Like I made this. And then when I look at all the work, I'm like, that's a lot of work. But what I'm hoping, and I guess what they're hoping is, that your profit is going to go beyond what you're making for like the different tiers you offer. Like the profit has to be from
Mhm.
readers coming back. Like that's what you want. You want them to come back and to buy, the
The
rest,
next. Hmm.
the next
Yeah.
book, the next, the next
Hmm.
series, the next set, which is understand. I mean, that's every ad that I
Hmm.
take out, every, author I swap a newsletter with, every post I put up, it's with that intention. Like every sale I have, it's because I want to hook some readers and I want to grow my readership, which I mean, we all want to do this. We do. And for me, I write very quickly. I write, I always say I write episodic fiction, right? They're like episodes. It's like a sitcom, and my series, they get a little out of control. Like I have one series I think has 10 books, one has like 16. I always say, oh, they're going to be 4 books, but it's never 4 books. Or if it is 4 books, what I do then is I have 3 other spin-off series that go with that, because of just, I love these little worlds inside this whole universe that I made. And then I can't, stop, because I'm like, well, this guy needs, his story, or she needs her story. And so
I'm
for
just
me,
glad you
I
said
love
that because I feel that like so much and so
it.
often I'm just like I'm just going to write this book and then the next thing you know I'm like 8 books deep like with 3 people reading the series.
But those people, like hopefully, like the idea is like tell your friends,
Yeah.
tell like-minded people,
Yes.
and leave a review. And the thing about reviews that I'm still, I started publishing in 2014, and I'm still awestruck by how people get so freaked out by reviews. And I'm always constantly telling readers, like, a review is not like a grade school book report. Like, you don't have to tell me what's in the book. I know what's in the book.
Mhm.
Like, I wrote it. Like,
I hope
just tell me if you liked it, and not even me. Like, say what you would say to someone if you just had a really good hamburger.
Mhm.
Like, that was so good. You should try it, or hey, it was
Right.
okay. Like, I'm not going to say it was the best, but it was all right. Like, it was good for a Wednesday night when I didn't want to cook, like
Yeah.
that can be a review. That's a great book review right there. Great for Wednesday night. Didn't want to do anything else. Read this book, had fun. You should try it. Like
Yeah.
perfect review.
Mhm.
That's it. You don't have to say anything else.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I-
that's always like an uphill climb still to get people to, hey, can you just 2 sentences? That's it too.
mhm. And I sometimes wonder like why that is,
I don't
what
I
the
don't know.
reluctancy. I know for me, I'm reluctant
It's like this
to,
book report fear.
yeah, like I'm reluctant to leave a review because I'm an author and I don't want, you know, the the bots to think that I'm being biased or whatever, or to, block me from being able to, to comment on that author stuff. But if when I was like just reading books and writing before I was published, um I reviewed for um the Romantic Times magazine. And I loved that because they essentially, people would send in books and then they would get, you know, reviews, but they would send in hard copy books, like either advanced review copies or like printed. If they were ebooks, they would print them and have them
Oh
bound
wow.
in like spirals or whatnot and send them. And I found some of my favorite authors today came from that I would have never, even thought to look at on a bookshelf. So
There's so many authors, so many books, and so many of them are so good. And you do, it's so when you're the writer in that scenario, well, how do I get people, to
mhm,
look at this? So like having this kind of anthology is hopefully part of that.
mhm,
Talking about this, I was talking about, what I was saying was 30 fan bases and 30, sets of readers, and sure, some overlap, but I'm sure there are plenty who don't. So this is like our readers' chance to grab a book of ours at like a rock bottom price, because it's, I don't release 99-cent books anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not sustainable. So I'm never going to at 99 cents unless it's with a set. And this is a new book, not an old book that I'm dropping in a set to get some attention. So never going to get a new book, especially one that's, signed with the publisher for 99 cents. And so you're getting mine plus 29 others. Like it's a huge, a huge discount. And then hopefully the idea is for, their readers to read me and maybe like me and maybe come and check out the other books, and, vice versa. Because every reader counts, right? Like we just want, and we want these like, readers who are gonna like our style, like what we have to say, like something else we were talking about was like, how many books do you have? Like, I mean, I'm always like, I write, I don't count. It's hard, but I recently counted and it's a lot. Like I have a lot of books, but like I said, they're, it's episodic. One comes after the other. Sure, you can read it standalone, but my hope is when you do read one that you want to go back into that universe and you want to check out what else is there, And I think that's just, I don't know if it's my, I didn't invent it. I mean, people do this all the time, but like for me, like when I read somebody's books and it's set in a whole world, like I want to know everything I can. Like I need all the information now. So I mean, I want it. And that's just part of it.
And that's one of those things where I feel I don't want to say hypocritical, but I'm the kind of reader, which is horrible, right? Because I write series. I can't help it. I don't always write series, but like I have a tendency of writing a lot of series. And the problem is that I have been, what is it, like Netflixified or something? Like I just made up that word, but it's
Oh, the
it's like
binging. You want to binge, so you need like
yes. So
right?
it's like, so I will buy them when they come out, but I end up like not reading them until it, until like at least an arc has to complete. Like I can deal with if you've got like a 3 main set and then you've got like a 4 main set and then you've got like an off, this starts with some new situations or whatever. Like I can do that, but if it's the if it's the same couple or the same, group of main characters, like I get all kinds of impatient. But I am not the reader who's going to email the author hate mail and be like, you need to get this book out. But I, like today there's a book out there that I have pre-ordered. And it just got pushed to, it was supposed to come out in October. Now it's coming out in November, and I'm just sitting here like,
oh. See, and I think that's why though, that's why just as an author, like business wise, like hearing people say that, I am trying to go with the shorter series where there are about 4 or 5 books and then doing a spin-off of that series. Like I have I have a Bear Shifter series with 4 main books, and then I have a spinoff, and then I have another spinoff of like smaller, shorter holiday books that take place, and it's all in the same town. And as all of my books do, it's set in New Jersey. It's a fictional town in New Jersey, but I think I found it, more palatable, for readers too, because they're like, oh, this is a complete series. I can read this. And then, oh wait, there's more. Like, okay, let me get that one. And then I just, made it more marketable, I guess, too. That is a good, I just finished after, what year is it? It's like 2022.
Like right now. I was like,
years.
Which year do you mean?
I'm trying to think. I have to count. I can't count. One of the first paranormal romance series I ever put out is my Makenwood pack, and I just released the final book for the original 8 Wolfguard. Just came out in August. it's an 8-book series, and then there's another 10-book shorter series based on the same pack, and then another 3-book series based on the same pack. But those 8 are finally done, and I feel so relieved because I feel like people were waiting for it, and I feel like, it wasn't that I was even putting, like, I was writing 1 or 2 of them a year. It was just on top of everything else. They just weren't, getting done, I guess. And for me, like, that was huge, and I feel very relieved that that's happening.
That's
But I think you asked me what I was doing with the rest of my month.
right.
October is like super busy. September was super busy. I do a lot of shared worlds. Shared world, if you don't know what that is, an author who has a series and has a universe will sometimes open up that series to other authors, right? To come in, and there's like royalty splits, and that's not important. But what's important is, you get to write in another author's world, but all your characters and scenarios, situations, plot is yours. Great. A shared world I was in shut down. Okay. And I mean, it just shut down recently, but my books, I actually wasn't going to renew my contract. So they kind of were like, okay, we'll just take them all down. And I had 13 books, 3 series in this shared world. So I have been rewriting them, adding to them, fixing them
Pulling things
up,
out.
new covers, and yeah, all their stuff is gone. So I have book 4 in one of those coming out, which I'm excited about because I just made book 1 free, and it's my Maverick Pride Tales. They're tiger shifters, but like now they're getting very bulky for me anyway. They're getting bulky, but I'm hoping they do well. So that's kind of exciting. And then I have a very light, fun urban fantasy series called Witches that I co-write, and we have book 3 coming out on Halloween, which is also fun. So I have some fun. Oh, you know what? I'm lying. I have one more too. I have another shared world that I still write in, Robin Peterman, who does paranormal romantic comedy. And for me, it's a little bit off what I'm normally doing because the books are written in first person, which I don't always do. But I do have a series in her world called Hung Love, FUR, and there's Shifters and Witches. And book 2 is also coming out on Halloween. So I'm excited. I'm excited. I got some releases coming after this momentous, list run next week. I'm probably not going to be able to speak coherently next week. So this is really good that we're doing this now because there's, so much that has to go into that.
So much still. Yeah. That, I think I have a fiction book that I wrote several years ago, that I just recently, finished, and I put it in my Patreon, and it was like, go ahead and release it. And I'm like, this is a big month already with like taskers and things to do. But I was like, you know what? They're right. Like, I just need to go ahead and just put it out there. But I don't really anticipate it doing anything. That's the thing about me is like, I am so like low key when it comes to releases with like low expectations of it. So this is like the first time I think since I've ever been published that I've had like stress about it, because it's the first time where
It's
I'm like,
stressful.
oh my God.
Yeah, it's true. This is very stressful. I think I used to, I feel so old. I think I used to feel very anxious about everything. And then I just keep repeating to myself, well, try not to look at the rank, try, especially now, being an author is super stressful because of, these platforms, they're not always running correctly. They're not always updating correctly. So if you're one of those authors who are staring at your rank, waiting for it to change, you're never going to be happy. Just don't look at it anymore because that's what I've decided is I'm not going to, stare at these things because it just makes you nuts. And I almost find sometimes that there is a slow build, especially if it's a series you're releasing. Like, and all readers will see book 1 and they're like, nah. But by book 3, they're like, okay, she's invested. I'll start reading them now. So it depends like where you are. If it's a series, if it's a standalone, I would like advertise the crap out of that. Be like, this is it. This is it. Just something seemed to resonate and
There's a second, there's only two books though, but
there you
there's
go.
just another one, and that's only because I saw a cover that kind of matched the original, book's cover. And so I was like, okay, I need that. But I probably could write something else with that cover. It just has the title. It doesn't have, like series or anything like
Well, if
that
it was
on
meant
it.
to be
So
two books, then it's fate. I mean, but even if you say, possibly, like they don't have
but
to
it
know.
took so long to write the first one. Yeah. So I think like the second one may be a surprise, except for anyone who watches this. So
You don't know what we're talking about yet.
you don't know. Yeah, we have no idea. It may or may not have a follow-up, but um I don't, yeah.
Well,
That's
I'm sorry.
I'm like the worst when it comes to this stuff. Like I am,
Marketing
I am,
and planning
I'm
the
super good at helping other people like get it, get motivated, get it, go out there, put it up there, sell it,
it
do
always
your thing. And then
yes.
when it comes to me, I'm like, I'm really glad I have a day job because
I know. Well,
I
see,
would
like
be,
I don't. Well, this is it. This is it for me. This is my day job. So like I get
it
kind of
changes.
I get odd looks,
Mhm.
from some people, some, authors who I admire, who I'm friendly with, and they'll be like, well, how do you do this? Like, why do you have so many? Like, oh, and I'm like, well, this is like my only job.
It
This
changes
is
the
it. This is my
perspective.
career,
Yes.
and I have to treat it like it's my career. And I spend, probably more than 12 hours a day at my
Mhm.
desk. I'm either writing or I'm marketing or I'm networking. I'm doing something. And
Right.
it's all, you know, to promote my small business, which is CD Gorri, indie author. I'm a small business owner. And
Yes.
this is what I own. This is what I produce. This is what I promote. This is how I pay my bills. This is it. So I think it becomes like a different game, like a different,
Yes.
not that it's a game, but you know what I mean. It
Yes.
becomes a different thing for someone who like, well, this is what I'm doing.
Hmm.
Like there is no, and that,
There's
that,
nothing to fall back on. Yeah,
well, there's no
I am
fallback and there is nothing
scared
else,
to,
you know.
I'm so afraid of that. Like I think I would rather get on a boat than get, you know, to get where everything relied on just my writing like that. And I say
It's
that you're just like, what is the deal with
scary.
the boat? The ocean does not like me.
Yeah.
Every time I've ever tried to be friends with the ocean has effectively told me that we are not
Oh,
that cool. Like
said back off, back
it's
off.
like you don't belong in here. Get out.
Oh no, no. See, I think I'm like selectively deaf and dumb and blind, and I'm like, what? What'd you say? Like I'm just not hearing, any of that because I'm not, I don't know. I think, like the indie author world, like anything else, I guess, has a lot of this, pressure and drama and opinions. And I'm just like, what? Like I'm just, it's not that I'm not interested. It's just that I'm still going to do what I'm going to do. And it's like
Right.
independent of whatever you think or whatever it is that you think I should be doing. Like your opinion of me is yours. And I mean, sure, I
Right.
can respect it, but I certainly don't have to listen to it.
Right.
I think social media gave people the idea that because I have a platform, you must listen. And that is not true. I do not, I still have a choice. I can click you off. I can unfriend you. I can
Mhm.
block you. I just don't have to really care. So you take that criticism or you take the people who are like, oh, that's crazy. Oh, you do this. And I'm like, no, I don't know. Is it crap? Maybe I'm crazy. Like, I don't really know.
I don't think you're crazy. My gosh, I think it would be amazing to do that. Like that's, I mean, I think that's most of everyone's dream. I am just, I have that fear. Like for me, like that's one of
Oh,
those
yeah.
things like with that planning and things like that, like
Oh, yeah.
security is extremely important to me.
You see, I think I'm probably very immature and I probably don't act like an adult when it comes to like stuff I should be paying attention to. I'm lucky. I'm married to a wonderful man who's equally irresponsible, but more responsible a little bit, just a little bit more than me.
It's equally
And
responsible.
so it's true. It's like I haven't opened mail, like actual mail, since before I went. Actually, I don't think I ever opened mail. I had a roommate in college who used to open my mail and like give it to me and like make sure I knew what to pay or what to do. And I would be like, fine. Like I don't look at stuff like that. It doesn't affect me. And I'm not really interested. And I feel like it's almost like,
Okay.
my husband's like, you're like a toddler. Like you go from thing to thing and just la la la. And I'm like, well, maybe I am. I don't know. Um, but I
That
think
has to keep you creative and keep things fresh. And but yeah, I would imagine you have to have like those balancing. I am the balance over here. I'm like the anxiety of like things have to be done on time. Things have to be like there's
well, I'm
like
very much like
I'm
that.
that and he
I
has
write
the
like linearly. Like if I start a book, I finish the book. Like I know authors who write like 5 books at a time, and I'm like, what? My brain would explode. Like I need to get one story out, and that's it. That one's done. And I mean, I do it from cover to the end to the formatting. Like I'm making my cover first, then I'm doing my blurb because I love blurb writing. I don't know why. I love it. It's so much
you're a
fun.
freak. Okay, everything
Is
else that you
something
just
wrong with
said,
me?
like there's the line, CD.
Yeah.
You just crossed it.
I'm not even kidding. Like I'm like now that I've done these anthologies and people are like, oh my God, she writes the blurbs. I get like authors who I don't even talk to.
Yeah.
They'll be like, can you read this? And I'm like, do you want me to? Because I have no respect for these words. I'm just gonna cross them
Mhm.
out and put what I want. They're like, no, it's
Yeah.
okay. Put something catchy. And I'm like, great. Because it's not that I don't like you or I don't respect you as a person, but when I
Yeah.
see something like that, like I just want to play with it until it makes me happy. That's my
Yeah.
whole like goal here is I want to be really happy all the time.
Oh,
I
that's
don't,
great.
I don't know. Is it, uh,
I mean, I think if you could be happy blurb writing, like um you could probably just have a career writing blurbs, honestly, because
yeah, I
so
should
many
charge. That's
authors
the problem. I'm like, I'm not
hate it.
charging for this. I need to.
Yeah, like you could totally charge for that service because I can fix someone else's blurb, like I can help someone else, but when it comes to my own, I'm like, what is happening? Like, are these people? What is their
So like, yeah, it's like when I have 5 sisters. I have five sisters. I'm number 6, right? I'm the baby of the family.
the
And
baby
I
that
remember getting dressed like, for my first school dance and like putting on makeup or whatever. And I remember like my older sisters, the ones who weren't being total bitches, who were just Chrissy, less is more. Like when you're putting on your makeup, or not for clothes, clothes more is more, but makeup less is more. Don't overdo it. And I always think of that when I'm writing a blurb. I'm like, I
Mhm.
don't want to give the story away. I don't want to,
Right.
I just want to do the Victorian thing. Like I want to show you my ankles. And that's
Yes.
it. And I want you to be interested in, getting all the way home. And
Right.
so like I always think that. And then I just, I also it's absurd, but I think of like car salesmen. I think of salesman pitches. Like what would
Yeah.
make me stand here and want to read you? Because I will admit this,
Yes.
and it's not just authors, it's anyone who's trying to sell me something. If you don't have my interest in the first sentence you say, I am completely ignoring you. Like my brain
Mhm.
doesn't even work anymore. It's just like, whatever, bored, bored, and I'm turned
Shut
around
it
looking
down.
at something else. So I always, I figure there's probably a lot more people like that, out there than
Mhm.
people who are like willing to keep reading. How many
Yeah.
do I get there? I just go delete, delete, delete. The subject's ridiculous. Delete. I'm not looking at it. So it's puts pressure on you. But at the same time, I'm like, what's easy about it is I can always go back and change my metadata if
Yeah.
it's not. So that's the other hat, right? Is you have to be okay with
Mhm.
making a mistake. Like as a writer, like one of the hardest things I had to do was, get an email from someone. Well, I found so many mistakes in your book. And then they send me like 3 screenshots of like, I don't know, like a comma,
Right.
word that got misspelled, and like an apostrophe. I'm like, that's so many mistakes.
Right.
What? Like I just read Harry Potter. There were 84 mistakes in that book,
Right.
traditionally published with 10,000 editors. What?
Right.
And I was like beside myself. And then I was like, you know what? I'm okay with mistakes.
Yeah.
That's why there are erasers on pencils, right?
Yeah.
So
I and it's one of the beautiful things about ebooks, and especially if you do have control over the loading and formatting and that kind of thing, or some input in it at least, because you can do a new edition and just upload it. Whereas
yes.
Harry Potter's out there, like that's never you're not taking that
Yeah.
down
Like,
and
can you
fixing
like
those
I
mistakes.
just
Like
paid
it's
$39 for this paperback and it has 84 in errors. Like,
yeah,
and I'm sitting there and like my like little
freaking out over three.
tiny like English bachelor's degree is like going nuts in my brain, like circling shit. I'm like, I don't think J.K. Rowling cares, man. If I
Yeah,
send
I'm
her an
pretty sure
email,
she's
she's
all
not
right
even
where it is.
opening this.
Right.
Yeah. She's like, whatever. I sold like a bazillion copies. I'm good with it. Thank you. So I realized, oh, I may not sell, a fraction of a bazillion copies, but I'm okay if there's like a
Yeah.
comma mistake, dude. Like, take it easy.
Mhm. Yeah.
Like, we're good.
Yes.
At some point, you gotta. But then, I do. I have a boo boo form on my website. If you find a boo boo, tell me. And eventually I will get to it. I
That's a
promise.
great, yeah, that is a great little thing to put
Yeah,
on
Google
there. That is
form. This
a
is like my oopsie form. If you find a mistake and it's just a Google form and it, saves all your information for me, and I'll even give you a shout out. I
yeah.
fix it and thanks for showing me this. Perfect. Go back and do it, when I can. Usually if I'm running a sale or something, I like to go into the
Mhm.
book anyway and update the back end and just some more fun stuff that we have to do.
Right. Yeah, it's so much. Like we need to break it down into segments of
Yes.
things that need to
It's
be discussed out
pancake
here.
breakfasts. That's what we need. Like, just everyone should give authors free pancakes. That's, why not? Like, hey, you need a pancake today. Like,
I
it's
need
just
a
a friendly
pancake
thing.
today.
Yeah. Reviews can be like pancakes. They're like digital pancakes. Just give us
A
reviews.
digital
I'm
that's
crazy.
you need yeah, you need to put that up. That you need to make a meme for that.
Yeah.
Um,
Feed me pancakes in the form of
they're in
reviews.
a form of reviews.
That's what
Yeah.
I need. We'll put this. So, mentor, thank you, by the way, for our upcoming
Yeah,
con.
for July 2023 Literary Love Savannah.
Yes.
It's my annual event. I've been part of the volunteer staff there. We are all volunteer um, for that event. If you're a reader, you want to come to that event because we spoil our readers something awful. If you're an author, you might want to come to that event as a reader your first year because we spoil our readers something awful.
Well,
And
I'm
you
coming
are
as an
gonna,
author my
you
first year.
are, and I tell people all the time, just be
Yes.
prepared to to be kicking yourself because it's not it like some people will come occasionally like as a reader if they don't have a new book coming out or whatnot they'll come and then they are just that they're authors because they are just luxuriating in all the stress-free like they don't have to set up tables, they just get to kick back and hang out and they get all the swag and they get to go and do this stuff and they're just and it's just it's like for them that's like a real vacation. But if you come as an author to this event, it is far from a vacation. Like it's like you may be going to a tourist location, but you ain't getting a break.
No,
Um,
I'm not, but I think I'm used to that. And actually, like my family will be coming down with me. They're very excited because
yeah.
we've been to Savannah before, but always for like only one night, 2 days kind of
So they're
thing.
gonna get a
So
chance to
they're just so, and
explore.
I'm like,
Mhm.
thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming. I'm like, oh, is anyone going to PA with me? Like, you're going to come and help? And they're like, no.
It's that's what I would say. I'd be like, look, we are gonna need some labor
Yeah,
just for
no.
setups and takedowns
Yeah,
and
like
things,
my husband's like,
but
I will wheel down your wagon and then I'm leaving.
and then,
Thank you.
then we're going to lunch. Peace.
Yeah, peace out. And I was like, great, great, okay. But I am looking
It
forward
will have
to
fun.
it. I
And you
think,
you will have fun as an author.
yeah,
You'll leave there all like
I
motivated,
understand. Like,
refreshed.
it's work. But if
But
you're a reader
oh
and
my
you want to
gosh.
meet us,
Yes.
come down to Savannah in July. I mean, who doesn't
Yes.
want to be there? It's so beautiful. I
Yeah.
mean, it's just so pretty. The trees alone, like I just want to walk around under the trees. They're just beautiful.
Yeah,
Um,
I do too, but that's because it's hot.
I
I don't
mean, I
walk
want
around under the
to.
trees where
I
the
might
shade
just
is.
stand in the air condition and look at them,
It's
which
like
might be more realistic for me. I mean,
I get the whole 18th century lady umbrella situation because it's like you have your own personal shade.
yes,
Because yeah, I'm all about that.
I definitely have like a big soccer mom one that I bring with me places.
Mhm.
But yeah, yeah, this is true. Oh my goodness, but I'm looking forward to
Okay.
that. It's gonna be
Yeah,
great.
that's gonna be fun. So we've got like 2 minutes left, so let's go ahead and talk about just a real quick reminder to go ahead and pick up your copy of Rituals and Runes, even if you are an author watching this for tips and
Please.
information. CD has definitely given you lots of tips and information, totally worth a buck for this week. So go ahead and
And I'm always happy to,
grab that.
to talk to you. So if you follow me on social media or visit my website, send me an email. I'll answer any question you ask me if I can. If it's not, nuts, don't be weird. Okay. But the link to the book is bookstoread.com / rituals. It's 99 cents this week only. The price is going to go way up. And once these books come down, I mean, the anthology is only available for a couple of months. And then when that comes down, it's up to the individual author. And I can guarantee no one is releasing their book for
No,
99 cents. It's just not
no.
doable. It's not sustainable for us. So this is a huge, huge bargain for you. You will get to try 30 authors, 30 brand new books, paranormal romance, urban fantasy for under a buck. And we do need your help. We need your support. So if you're a reader, writer, please support us just for a buck. I mean, it would be great. The more indies get seen, the more of us hit that list. I mean, the more we're forcing the industry to take us seriously, as they should, because we are serious people putting out seriously good books. And you want them. You do. This is over 1,000 pages. Oh, here's something fun. And I'm going to tell your viewers, because I didn't tell anybody else that I spoke to this week. But if you follow me on TikTok, I will have a very exciting and funny, a little punny, video coming out right after the set. And it is our dirty word countdown. So if you like steamy romance and you think these are funny, what I do is I've done this for the other sets and people love them. They thought they were funny. I do a word tally of dirty words for every book in the set. And I will put them in a countdown and I will do a post and it'll be on my TikTok, and CD Gorri's my TikTok. So just come check
Go
it
see
out
it.
because it's hilarious. We have lots of fucks to give and it'll be funny. It'll be funny.
Okay. So we're out, and this was another episode of Creative Writing with Dr. Nagel. Thank you, CD, and we will see you next time.
Thank you for having me. Bye, guys.
Bye.